Anyway, so talk to me, man. Just like for you, bro, like you've obviously kind of taken the comedy world by storm in a way that's like very, it's just dope to see. Because I remember when I first heard of you, it might have been like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. And then it almost felt like within like a month or two of me hearing about you and seeing some of your stuff online, like you were on Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah, Joe Rogan was cool, man. He was real nice. It's crazy how many things people send him.
Free things?
Yeah, like I know when you have like a podcast or like rappers, comedian, anybody with like a following, people send you free stuff
for sure.
But I remember when I got there was all these packages that had just gotten there too, and it's like that morning, this is what everybody sent, and a lot of drugs.
It's like there's just a package, like, hey, yeah, that's all the stuff that came in the mail.
But it's like, bro, that's always crazy to me too. People who send drugs like that, because it's like, do you really think somebody's just gonna trust you to take your drugs?
Especially if they don't know you. Especially like you're sending drugs to Texas, which is never a good idea.
Yeah, but
like, and to like one of the most powerful media personalities in the world. Like, yeah, let me just traffic drugs to his office.
Yeah, and even Joe looked at it, who's just like, yeah, you'd have to be an idiot to take this. Like, which I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of tempted to take it.
You're like, well, shit, bro, I'll take it.
Make a good story.
I'll figure it out.
But nah, even I wouldn't. I was like, nah, fuck that.
Like, I took these fucking janky ass drugs from Joe Rogan's office that he didn't want to take, and I ended up in jail that night.
My biggest fear is like, what if somebody just wanted to make a story out of this? What if somebody sent me free drugs, just drops them off or whatever, just so that they could be like, oh, but I laced it with this, and so I wanted to hear him tell a story about the time he got laced with some shit. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
People are twisted, man.
Now, people send you free shit. Like, I won't even take free clothes anymore from clothing lines that, you know, I used to just send my address, not to everybody, not my address, like the radio station address. I'm like, yeah, I'll take whatever for free, for show, whatever. But now it's like, someone's like, hey, man, I'm going to send you a package, and I look at their shit, I'm like, man, that shit is whack.
Yeah, I sometimes...
Like, I'm good. Like, you know, there's shit that, like, I fucking fuck with. And, you know, like, if fucking Cookies wants to send me a box of clothes, which they do very often, oh, yeah, I support Burner. That's my brother. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm not fucking... I'll support also, like, independent brands. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's, like, a dope brand that's, like this guy, he makes these wrestling shirts. And I
like these Slump.
Yo, shout out to those guys. They did a collab with OT.
Yeah, they're out of Houston.
They're fire for sure. Like, they got some hard ass shit. I've seen it for sure. But no, you were saying, so I want to know, like, going on Joe Rogan, there's always this, you know, narrative that once you go on there as a comedian, almost like a flip switches in terms of, like, did it change things for you? Did you notice maybe the extra attention, the extra fans, the extra ticket sales? Like, was there a correlation?
No.
Nah.
I think I was doing all right.
No, because you were like heating up you was on fire.
I think the only thing, it was more like a badge of merit, if you want to call it. Like, a lot of people who were already supporting me were like, yo, like, it's official, you made it now, you're on the Joe Rogan podcast. But I don't think I got more ticket sales from it, or nothing like that. What was funny, this is how wide and popular his podcast is, though. Is I talked quite a bit about when I used to paint cars, and I guess there was clips that were, you know, released from that where I only talk about that, and every now and then, you know, you run into people who recognize you from like my comedy clips, right, or whatever. I was at a bar in Austin, and somebody's like, yo, he's like, I know you. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, he's seen my stand-up clips. He was like, you're a painter. He's like, I saw you on Joe Rogan, man. Keep up the good work. Like
you paint cars and you made it to Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
You must be fired, bro.
So that was about it. But no, I think a lot of the people who follow me and a lot of people who support my career, my stand-up, they were just kind of like proud to see that. And a lot of them are Joe Rogan podcast fans, so they were just like, hell yeah, bro. But
do you know how? Do you recall, or do you know how you kind of got on his radar? I mean, obviously he's a comedian. Fucking.
So somebody had sent me a clip one time where him and I think it was like Bert Kreischer were talking about me when the whole Lopez thing popped off.
Right.
And I think in that clip, Joe mentioned, he was like, oh, yeah, I've seen his stuff online here and there, you know? So I guess he had just seen me here and there.
So did he reach out to you?
Yeah,
Jamie?
Maybe. I don't know. I just remember my manager was the one that was like, do you have interest in doing the podcast? You could do it, you know? And so I don't know if my manager reached out first or they reached out first, but they got in touch and I got an opportunity to go.
I went up there during the pandemic. Freddie Gibbs and Brian Moses did an episode. And so I went to Austin with Freddie Gibbs and we went to his studio and I was so like, the exterior of his studio is not what anybody would expect. It's almost like you're pulling up to like a doctor's office.
Yeah.
I actually think there's a doctor's office next door. And it's like very like unassuming. You wouldn't expect like this business complex or whatever.
I didn't assume this was a studio.
That's fair. This used to be a fucking illegal dispensary.
I was about to say, yeah, this looks like you traffic humans through here.
I actually think that might have happened here before. I've heard some shit about this place. We had remember who was remember Dopest Yola came in here and he said he used to pick up pounds of drugs from the Asians that used to own this place.
I bet, bro. I bet.
Oh, you know Thomas from Dopest Yola? You went on his pod. Yeah, he was like, bro. He's like, I know this place. He's like, walk me through the front because I could tell you where. Like, I was like, yeah. We had to obviously redo it, but no. But it's funny because it's for real. Like I would expect it to be like, you got to pull up. There's this big gate. You open it up and there's like fucking fields and like this big airplane hangar, and it's just like, oh, you just kind of pull up. Oh, this is where it's at.
Yeah, but I like your space here, man, and it's giving me ideas because I want to start a podcast. But
I feel like it's the thing to do if you're a comedian, but
right?
Yeah,
but I never made the time for it or made it a priority. But I just started buying like all the equipment and stuff.
Right,
and I'm working on. I guess my own like little studio space. I don't want to rent a place.
No, you can do your own shit. Yeah,
building myself a little room.
I mean, you live in the country.
Yeah,
you got space.
The only thing is though, living out in the country is like, how am I gonna get guests?
That's the problem.
Because I'm near Dallas, but I'm not that close to Dallas.
That's the problem, and that is a big reason why I still live in LA.
Yeah, you see. So I don't know.
Even moving to Dallas or like places I've considered like I like LA. I love LA. I love Burbank where I live. But I've like thought like, damn, like if I move, where would I go? And it's like, man, but wherever I move, there's nowhere, at least for what I do, that I would have the guest access that I have here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And then you'd have to do those Zoom podcasts.
Which nobody likes.
Yeah, nobody likes that.
Yeah, and like it's like, you know, if I was like, if I was like a comedian or something, I'd move to Austin because that's where you'd want to do it. So at least it's kind of, what's that drive like? 4 hours, 5 hours?
For me, it's 3 hours.
3 hours, okay. Yeah. But no, you should do a podcast, dude. Like, and that's the other thing too, is like, just figure out what your thing should be. Is like interviewing fools. Like a lot of times, at least for you, you could probably just have your friends on because your friends are popping, you know, like, hey, when are you in Dallas next? Come and do
I think it'd be cool to take the podcast on the road with me. I feel like most of my time I'm on the road. I'm bouncing
Theo Vaughn's been doing that more.
Yeah.
Where he'll be somewhere and you'll be like, oh, that's not his normal studio.
Yeah. And I think it'd be cool, like, if I'm in New York for a few days, just talk, you know, have
just
somebody
bang out
there.
fucking, you know, get a suite.
Yeah.
And then set up in the hotel. Don't even rent one of those podcast studios. It's not worth it. You just set up.
Yeah.
Because they'll tax your ass for sure.
Yeah, fuck that.